great camp. We had a good camp. No excuses going to the camp. It was a little testing. But shit, what's life without adversity? You dig? You know, so we grinding, man. I'm actually excited. I'm glad that how the camp went. You know, I'm confident going into this fight that he can go out there and execute the game plan.
And I know he said last time he deviated off the plan. Yeah. How do you keep him on track this time and listen to the corner and then go out there?
I think the biggest issue was for him to understand it himself. You know, once you recognize the situation, it makes it easier for you to be able to make the necessary adjustment. He understood, you know, not to let outside influences and stuff like that play a part in how he conduct himself. At the end of the day, you know, we're your last line of defense. You know what I'm saying? What we work on in the gym is the shit that we going to go out there and I expect you to execute. I tell him before every fight, the difference between good and great is inches and centimeters and the ability to fucking produce. I think he's ready to produce now.
And as a fighter, I know you watch Ryu as your brother fighting him. What do you see in his style as a fighter?
In Ryu style?
Yeah.
I think he's an exciting fighter. He got good pop. I think he would be dangerous throughout the entire duration of the fight. But I also don't feel as though he got what it takes to be able to handle what my little brother's bringing to the table. You know, he's more than just a brute. My brother definitely is physically, I believe my brother's physically stronger and actually physically bigger than him. And I believe we should see that on Saturday night.
What's your prediction for also the main event? Gervonta Davis, Roach, a fighter fight as yourself. Help people understand that going up on weight, it could be an advantage and a disadvantage for fighters like Roach. He's going up on weight for this class. So how do you see this fight going out?
I think it's sweet that they both competing. They competed before in the amateurs. You know, they're still competing now in the professionals. So it kind of speaks volumes on both parties on just being consistent within their career. You can't count anybody out in any fight. If I had to bet on anybody, I'll bet on Tank. I think Tank will it'll be interesting the first 4 or 5 rounds. I think it should be an interesting fight, but going into the later half and championship rounds, I think Tank will pull it off.
Why do you think it's going to be interesting the first 4 or 5 rounds?
Tank starts off slow. He's a slow starter. He really don't throw a lot of punches early in the fight. If Lamont was smart, he would take those early half of the rounds, put them in the bank, maintain a certain level of defensive discipline going into the back half of the fight, and continue to steal rounds like that. If he can do that, then I believe he can possibly win the fight. He probably could shock the world. Do I think it can happen? Then I don't know.
Last one for me. Towards the end of this year, it's very highly rumored that Canelo Crawford fight is going to take place. We were just talking about going up on weight, just one weight class. This is for Crawford would be 3 weight classes, if I'm not mistaken. He's a quote-unquote a smaller guy, as they say. Everything points in favor for Canelo, on paper. But how could you convince fans that Crawford can beat Canelo, if he can?
In my personal opinion, I feel the same way I feel when Canelo fought Caleb Plant. I was telling people, if Caleb is in 15-round shape, he can fuck around and get Canelo. He'll have to be able to keep him turning. He got to keep that stick on his ass, keep him guessing. I think he'll be able to get it. Caleb was not in 15-round shape. If not, come 8, 9, or 10, Canelo gonna start walking his ass down like Jason. I feel the same way about, Bud. He's moving up in weight. I think it speaks volumes on him as a person to be willing to jump up multiple weight classes to try to compete against someone. And not to mention, we prize fighters. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing it for the bag too, but I think in order for him to pull it off, he got to be in 15-round shape. If he's not, I don't see him getting that fight. I think Canelo gonna get his ass out in the later half of the fight.
Last for me, question for both of y'all. You're both in your brother corner, y'all going up against a world-class trainer, Robert Garcia. How is it for both of y'all? I know you as a fighter, you look at the other man compete, but as a trainer now, how is it going against Robert?
It's crazy. I don't look at it as me competing against another coach or anything like that. Even with you being a coach, your fighter has to have the ability to do the things that you want him to do. You know, I have a certain level of confidence and belief in my younger brother and his skill set to be able to go out there and execute the game plan. I tell, like I say before every fight, I tell my younger brother, the difference between good and great is inches and centimeters and the ability to fucking produce. Let's produce.